Now, coming to some more definitions, that is your coordination sphere, or we can also say ionic sphere. The part consisting of the central metal atom and the ligands directly attached to it, alright, enclosed in square bracket. You have seen it. I have said you already. The complex ion, which is called as, is called the coordinating sphere, or the coordination sphere, we can say that, of the complex compound. And the part which gets ionized into simple ion is known as what? The ionic sphere of the, what you can say, the complex compound. Alright, that means the part which contains the central metal atom and the ligands, that which I say the complex ion, that is also called coordination sphere. It is also said to be as. And when it dissociates, a complex compound, a coordination compound dissociates into its ions, you have said it. We have got a simple ion also. Along with the complex ion, we have got a simple ion. That is also called as ionic sphere, so to say. For example, here I can give you another example. CuNH3 whole 4 SO4. So it will dissociate to give you what? Cu. Now this is coming under which complex? Before writing, I can say you, it is coming under cationic complex, because what I said you, cation we write first, then after that we write anion, isn't it? Always. So complex ion is cationic and this is your anionic. That's it. So in this way, what you find is that CuNH3 whole 4 2 plus and SO4 2 minus. Because I know the charge of SO4, this 2 minus. So this has to be 2 plus. Because ultimately the compound is neutral in nature. So 2 plus 2 minus is 0. Total charge is 0. It has to be 0. Why? Because the compound is neutral. This is neutral. So this side also, if I add it, the total charge has to be 0. Alright, for that reason. So here, what I say you, this is your nothing but coordination sphere. We can say that. Coordination sphere, we can say, or complex ion, whatever. So many names there. Coordinating sphere, also we say that. And this is your simple ion or ionic sphere, also we can call it as. Very simple. Now, coordination polyhedron. See, you'll read it later on when I'll be teaching you, that is geometry of the molecule, the shape of the molecule in isomerism. You'll see that this particular one, the ligands, alright, it is always arranged in a particular plane, in a particular surface, alright, in a three-dimensional plane or in a three-dimensional surface. It points at a particular end, we can say that. So this pointing or this arrangement of these ligands around the central metal atom in a three-dimensional space gives rise to the shape of that molecule. Gives rise to the shape of the molecule. So hence, ligands always determine the shape of the molecules. The arrangement of the ligands around the central metal atom determines the shape of the molecule. Alright? Remember this particular thing. So hence, that will give rise to, as I said, the shape of the molecule, which is known as coordination polyhedron. So what is coordination polyhedron? I have already explained it, and let me tell you the definition. The spatial arrangement, S-P-A-T-I-A-L. S-P-A-T-I-L is spatial. Here the word spatial means what? Three-dimensional space. The arrangement of the molecules in a three-dimensional space. The spatial arrangement of the ligands directly attached to the central metal atom or ion constitutes a polyhedron about the central metal atom. Alright, this polyhedron is termed as coordination polyhedron. Now this coordination polyhedron means the shape of the molecule. In a simple word I can say you, coordination polyhedron, in simple word it is called as the shape of the molecule. Got it? Now the shape of the molecule or the coordination polyhedron can be tetrahedral, can be square planar, can be octahedral, can be trigonal, bipyramidal, anything, any shape it can be. Alright, any shape it can be possible. Now, next is, you understood coordination, that is polyhedron means generally shape of the molecule, and I said you what the shape can be. Now, next is coordination number. Already said you, here the coordination number is 4. So, if the coordination number is 4, then what it can be? It can be a tetrahedral complex. See, from the coordination number also we can know the shape of the molecule. If it is 4, the coordination number, that means around the central metal atom, 4 ligands are arranged. You know, when 4 ligands are arranged, you have read it in last year in VSEPR theory, AB4 molecule. That means what? AB4 is what? Tetrahedral. So hence the complex ion is tetrahedral in nature. The molecule or the, what you can say, the compound is tetrahedral in nature. Suppose here it is 6 is there. 6. Coordination number 6. That means what? It is octahedral in nature. Alright, so hence what is coordination number? Already said, the maximum number of ligands which can be coordinated to the central metal atom or ion is known as the coordination number. The maximum number of ligands. Here the maximum number is 4. It can be 6. So many examples I've given you just now. Alright, so in this way, if it is 6, generally it is called as octahedral complex. If it is 4, it is known as tetrahedral complex. Later on, you'll come to know how it will be trigonal, bipyramidal, how it will be, what you can say, that is square planar, and all these things you will come to know. You will be studying about the hybridization, you will be studying about, here also you will be having VBT, valence bond theory. At that time you will come to know about it. Just for the time being, I said you that if it is 4 coordination number, then it is tetrahedral complex, and if it is 6 coordination number, then this coordination polyhedron, the shape of the molecule will be octahedral in nature, so to say. Now, the net charge carried by complex ion is called as a charge number. So what is the net charge carried here is 2 plus. The charge number is here 2 plus. Alright, that is called the charge number of the complex ion, the net charge which is being carried. And oxidation number, I said you, the oxidation number of the central metal atom, generally you find it out. Like in this case, how will you find it out? How will you find? You will take as X, ammonia is 0, neutral ligand is equal to what? 2. So X is equal to 2 plus 2. So the oxidation number of copper is plus 2. In this way, you find the oxidation number. Very simple. So the number which represents the electric charge which the central metal atom actually appears to have. The electric charge with the central metal atom appears to have. What is that? Plus 2. So what is that known as? That is called as oxidation number or oxidation state of the central metal atom. We can say that. That is the number which represents the electric charge which the central atom actually appears to have when combined with atoms or group of atoms. What is that? Atoms or group of atoms? Ligands. So we can say that. So that number is called as an oxidation number. Here you can see it is 2. I said you also that how to find the oxidation number. Even you also know how to find the oxidation number. It's not a new thing for you. We can say that. Now next is based upon the number of ligands, we are getting 2 types of complexes. We are having homoleptic complexes and heteroleptic complexes. Homoleptic. Now this is a homoleptic complex. Homoleptic means what? It is having one type of ligand only. A particular type of ligand, like it can be NH3, it can be water, it can be CN, it can be Cl. Only a particular kind of ligand is involved. One type of ligand is involved. Alright, so complexes in which the central atom or ion is linked to only one kind of donor atom or group. One kind of ligand, that is called as homoleptic complexes. Like this is homoleptic. In previously, I wrote an example, FeCN whole 6 4 minus. That was a homoleptic complexes. Homoleptic. HOMOLEPTIC. Homoleptic complex. Alright, so this is your homoleptic complexes. Now, if you are having number of ligands attached to it, number of ligands it is attached to it. For example, we are having CO, NH3, whole 4, Cl2 plus. We can say that. Clear? So this is known as what? Heteroleptic complexes. Hetero. It is called as heteroleptic complexes. We can say that. See, different types of ligands are involved. So here we can have many other type also. Like we can have instead of Cl, we can have sulfate, carbonate, anything. So a number of ligands are involved. That is called as heteroleptic complexes. Got it? Now, next is I said you that ligands are the donor atoms. Got it? So that is ligands, they are the donor atoms which donates lone pair of electrons to the central metal atom or ion. So that is called as the denticity of the ligands. The number of donor atoms present in a particular ligand is called as the denticity. DENTICITY is called as the denticity of the ligands. Now based upon the denticity, we are having unidentate ligands or monodentate ligands having one donor atom. Next, we can also have didentate or bidentate ligands having 2 donor atoms. We can say that. Similarly, we can have tridentate ligands, tetradentate ligands, pentadentate ligands, hexadentate ligands. We can have it. Altogether, beyond 2 is known as what? Polydentate ligands. We can say that. Clear? So, what I said unidentate ligands, very simple. You came to know what is unidentate ligands. For example, unidentate ligands is this one. H2O having 1 lone pair. Ammonia having 1 lone pair and 1 donor atom. Not number of lone pairs, not counted on number of lone pair, number of donor atoms. Here donor atoms is 1. Here donor atom is 1. We can say that. Clear? Here that is NO, nitrosyl. If this is a donor atom, we can say that. If nitrosyl, N is a donor atom. It can be anything. It can be O also can be a donor atom. Understood? But if N is a donor atom, now here why I am considering N as a donor atom? Because if you draw the structure, this is structure. So this is left free. This can be attached to any other atoms. Here oxygen bond is satisfied. We cannot have any more. Understood? Clear? Fine. So in this way, if there is one donor atom, that is called as unidentate ligands or monodentate ligands, you can say that. So ligands which possess only one donor atom, that can form only one coordinate bond to the central metal atom and ion is called as unidentate or monodentate ligands. In this way, we can have so many. We can have chlorido, Cl minus, we can have I minus, iodido, you can have NH2 minus, that is imido, just now I said you, and that is NH, not this, that was amido, I said you NH2 minus, this is known as imido, that was NH2 charge was minus, that was amido I said, this is imido, got it, where nitrogen is the donor atoms, we can say that, clear, see in this way. So whatever it is, if one donor atom is there, that is called as unidentate or monodentate ligands, we can say that. Similarly, we are having two donor atoms are being present. Two donor atom means COO minus. Here see, this oxygen is a donor atom, this oxygen is a donor atom. What is this? This is nothing but known as oxalato. Oxalato. It is oxalate, na? So what I said, oxalato. It from E it will be O. I have already said it. And abbreviated form is OX. Like I said, na, ethylene diamine is what? EN, the abbreviated. Water, aqua, AQ. Similarly, for oxalato, the abbreviated form is OX, the short form is. Alright, it is coming under it. Similarly, we can have NH2, CH2, COO minus. Here, these two donor atoms is there. That is known as what? Glycine. Short form is GLY. Got it? Glycine. And glycine will be converted into what? Glycino. Because E means E will be converted into O. You know that. Alright. Similarly, ethylene diamine having two donor atoms. Ethylene diamine NH2, CH2, CH2, NH2. Alright. Having two donor atoms, we can say. This is one donor, this is one. So it is nothing but known as EN, ethylene diamine, the abbreviated form is. It is also comes under bidentate or didentate. In this way, many we are having the didentate ligands. We can say that many we are having a chart for it. Similarly, we are also having tridentate, tetradentate, pentadentate, hexadentate. So let me give an example of hexadentate ligands. Got it? So tri, tetra, penta. In this way, you can see it from your book. That is the examples of this ligands. Just you have to increase the number of donor atoms, but that should be legible. We can say that. Clear? Now here, what I am taking is that ethylene diamine, just now I said is ethylene diamine is what? NH2, NH2, isn't it? This is, I said you, bidentate ligands. Now what will I do, you know? To make it hexadentate, what will I do? I will just remove the two hydrogen and I will replace by two other groups. I will replace by two other groups. What is that? I will be replacing by acetato. That is CH2COO minus. Acetate is CH3CO minus, isn't it? CH3. But here it will be CH2. Why? Because one bond is here, na? One bond I am putting it here. So one hydrogen has to be replaced by this particular bond. Understood? Otherwise, I know that acetate means CH3CO minus. But I can't write CH3 here. Otherwise, carbon will have 5 bonds, which is not possible. So CH2COO minus. So here, how many got donor atoms till now? 1, 2, 3. Here also same thing. That is CH2COO minus. Same thing, CH2COO minus. We can say that. See it. So we are having, that is nothing but how many donor atoms? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is called as EDTA in short. EDTA means ethylene diamine tetraacetate. See, initially it was ethylene diamine. How many acetate we got it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Tetraacetate. See, ethylene diamine tetraacetate. It comes under which ligand? Hexadentate ligands, we can say that. Ethylene diamine tetraacetate. Got it now? In this way, we are having hexadentate, pentadentate, tridentate, tetradentate. In this way, you can have the examples. Got it? Fine. This is coming under. So, I hope you understood. The denticity. Denticity means number of donor atoms. Number of donor pairs, we can have it. So, if one donor atom, monodentate or unidentate, if 2 it is bi, 3 it is tri, in this way it goes on. Now, next is the bridging ligands. Bridging. Now, monodentate ligands which can simultaneously attach themselves to more than one metal ion. The monodentate ligands which can simultaneously attach themselves to more than one metal ion are called bridging ligands. Means, which are the bridging ligands? We can have OH minus. It can be simultaneously attached to more than one metal ion, simple metal ion. We can have NH2 minus. We can have NO2 minus, which comes under sorry, bridging ligands. We can say that Cl minus, CO minus, etc. So many we can have it. Clear? Which acts as a bridging ligand. Now how? Let me give an example that how it is a bridging ligand. See here. I said you bridging ligand means which can be attached to two or more. What you can say? Clear? Two or more. That is central metal atom. We can say that. So it acts as a what? A bridging ligand, so to say, which can be attached to two or more. That is bridges. We can say. So hence you can see it here. Here it is attached to or more bridges. Like how it is attached to, see, this OH is attached to this Fe and this Fe. This OH is attached to this Fe and this Fe. Now if you say me the complete formula of it, what is that? Let us put here 4, 4, and let us put it here, what it can be, here this SO4, we can put it here. Clear? So it can be SO4, we can put it here. So what you find is that this particular compound you will be getting it here. So here this particular one acts as a bridging ligand. Just an example I gave you, that is monodentate ligand. It's a monodentate ligand, you can say, which can attach simultaneously to more than one metal ion. It can be attached to more than one metal ion. It is said to be as bridging ligand. So bridging ligands can be this. So instead of OH minus, I can put NH2 minus also here, or OH NH2. That also can be possible. Two different bridges we can have. This is known as a bridge. So we can have two different bridges or two similar bridges also we can have it. Okay. Thank you.